Joint Laughter. Let's talk about cannabis, friends, and living your best life.
Parties going on all around town. This is that feel good music.
Nobody does this anymore.
Well, you just did. Today, we are here with someone that is going to give us maybe a little insight to a shooting that was that just happened in Inverness, Florida, by us, and not just the shooting, but the victims of it, and not just the person that got shot. We're going to kind of delve into all of that, and maybe make people rethink about their words or their actions towards the shooter side, if that makes sense. But if it doesn't, just stick around because it will. So thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks
Anytime.
for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm sorry for everything you are going through,
Thank you.
because I know it's hard and you're struggling with it. And you have a child,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that that's even worse.
Yes.
So
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi guys. I'm Shelby. I was asked to come on here and talk about the shooting and everything, and like they said, I'm just here to bring a little insight to everything, I guess, or at least my part that I know.
When Les approached you and asked you if you were interested in coming on the show, what was the first thing you thought of?
How it would affect my child if I, spoke up and spoke out and everything like that. Because whatever I do, it's always about my kids. And then how the shooter was going to react if and when he found out about it.
Meaning the shooter, how is he related to you?
He's the father of my child, one of my children.
And how old is your child? He's the father of?
He'll be 3 in October.
Okay.
Yes.
and how long were you with who's the shooter, the name?
People call him Skinny. I don't
Okay.
call him that. I call him by his name, which is Dwan. We were together like 5 months, 6 months, if that. But that was before my son was even born. I left 2 months pregnant because of certain situations that him and I were in.
Okay, so is he just a volatile person? Is he like abusive? Like, I mean, is he just angry, or is this like a rare incident that happened?
I left him 2 months pregnant from domestic abuse, and I was at a shelter here in Inverness for CASA my whole pregnancy up until my mom got sick and passed away. I lost my mom 5 days after I had my son.
I'm sorry.
So he wasn't there for my pregnancy. He wasn't there for the delivery or the labor or anything. He got into our son's life when I took him to court to make sure that like everything was how it was supposed to be for the safety of my child, because I know how his temper is.
Does he show interest in?
Yes, he's a great father.
Mhm.
I will give him that. I know he loves his kids. Like, I have never doubted that. He is a great father. He's always loved his children. I know he loves our son just by like how everybody else was telling me how he would be with him. And my son loves him. That's his dad. I've
Mhm.
never, kept him from him or anything like that, because at the end of the day, that's his father. So
I totally believe you that he loves his son for sure.
yes.
And so you're never worried about like if on his visitation, if he would like get angry or?
No. I know, like, if anyone ever disrespected his kids or said anything sideways, as he would say, or disrespectful, he would shut them down, or, he would put them in their place, because you don't talk about kids. They're just innocent children and bystanders. Like, say what you want to him and say what you want about whatever, but leave his kids out of it.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into this. What happened?
Well, the day that it happened, he dropped our son off at daycare, and I was getting blown up by everybody. Like, oh my God, he just did this.
Is this where it happened? Is at the daycare parking lot, or?
No, our son goes to daycare in Ocala over by where I live.
Okay.
And then my thought was like, sometimes he'll go to the barbershop if he forgets something. So I didn't know that he didn't have our son. I didn't realize he had dropped him off already. So I was freaking out thinking like maybe our son was there and this all went down, and and then finally I got a hold of one of his ex-girlfriends reached out to me and told me about everything, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
So the shooting had already happened. She
Yes.
was reaching out to you to tell you what happened.
Yes, she was making sure that I knew, because with our son, like, how do I explain it?
Well, being young and in his
Yes.
custody.
Right. So she wanted to make sure that he was fine because he also has 2 other kids, and she checked in on them as well. And she was just keeping me up to date. And
What time of the day was this?
this was around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yes. The first text message I got was like 9:48, 9:50. And it was a screenshot of somebody making a post of there was a shooting, skinny one, like the barber shot the victim. And that, like I said, I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Skinny, which is your ex.
Yes.
The barber.
He's the barber that everyone in Citrus County would talk about.
He's an actual barber?
Yes. He owns a barber shop that's in the same plaza.
He can't be that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
She's a hairstyle.
I like him.
And he's a good barber.
So it's early in the morning
Mhm.
and the shooting's already happened.
Yes.
This was kind of maybe planned a little bit.
I don't think it was planned, because knowing Skinny, like he would have already like done and dealt with it. I think the guy pushed the wrong buttons and said the wrong things. And by no means am I making excuses, because he did what he did. He could have walked away. He could have left. He could have informed the cops if you felt like your life was in danger or your kids.
Just to be clear, was the guy at the barber shop?
No, they weren't at the barber shop. They were in front of the other guy, like the I Spy store. They weren't in the other barber shop. Like the drone video that I saw, like the
Drone video. So someone has a drone video of it?
Mm-hmm.
How would someone know how to have a drone over it?
Yeah, like there's a drone video of it shows like his truck was parked and then the victim's truck was parked. Like they weren't near the barber shop. They were near, like closer to the I Spy store.
In the same plaza, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a drone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it was planned, huh?
I think it was the drone from like the news. Like everything was done. Like it didn't show any like dead bodies or blood.
Oh,
or
so the
anything like
drone
that.
came after the
Yeah.
shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Les, you're so confused.
Well, I was thinking like the drone's there.
Sorry.
No, no, no.
Shelby, I'm sorry. She's not drinking her water. Back to you, Shelby.
But after I watched the video, like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I know him. Like he's not the type of person just to go and shoot somebody. This person had to say something to him that triggered the wrong thing. A lot of people are saying it's over a girl. I know Liam. I know our son's dad wouldn't risk losing his kids or not seeing his kids over a female. It's not worth it to him.
So is it drugs?
The only thing that he did, and he had a card, was marijuana, from
Okay.
my acknowledgement.
We're huge advocates.
Yeah. So, I think from what the victim said is when Dwan got out of the truck, the guy was going to say that he was going to shoot him. Dwan walked back to the truck to retrieve the gun, shot him. The guy, from what I'm thinking and from what like I've heard from other stories and other people, the guy said, if I live through this, I'm going to go spray your house and kill your kids. I think that's what set him off, because also talking to him and hearing like, how would you feel? Like, what would you do if you were in my position and somebody's threatening our child? And I get it, but the moment he retrieved his gun, he could have left and he could have went and informed the cops.
You went back to the vehicle. You could have
Right.
just left.
Right.
So you've talked to him
I do.
since he's been arrested. I mean, like,
Yes. He calls and speaks to our child for now. And it's really hard because our son is so used to being on FaceTime with him.
and he can't.
He can't. And when I yell at him for doing something, he's like, I want daddy or daddy's house. Or he talks all the time because his dad had a motorcycle. And he's like, daddy motorcycle? Daddy? And I'm like, yeah, daddy's motorcycle's in the shop. Or, he's like, daddy here? We go daddy here. talking about the barbershop. And I'm like, Daddy's at work, or, like I
Yeah.
make excuses. He's, our
He's too
son's
young
only
to
2, right?
understand. Yeah.
So where are they
So-
holding him? Where is he right now?
Someplace, the jail in Locanto,
Mm-hmm.
Citrus County District, something, I don't know, something like that.
He's
I
waiting
don't-
to be sentenced.
Yeah, his next court date is September 4th at 1:00. And that's like a pretrial conference.
Does he have a good lawyer?
I don't know. I think it's a public defender.
Do you know the guy he shot? I mean, like, you had a little bit of time with him, so, and you've been away from him for a while, but
Right.
but do you know who this is, or is it someone that he knows? Is it just a stranger? Is it a guy that came to fight? I mean,
I don't know him personally. I don't know like their history together. From what I was told, like they were friends. Like, he used to go to the barbershop, or they would sit in the truck. Like they went fishing a week or 2 before this happened.
Do we know his name? Are we allowed? Can we say his name or?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Something, I know his last name is Johnson, Trezeek or Trez. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. It's
And this is in the paper. Is this in the paper and all over the internet?
Mhm.
Do we even do the paper anymore?
Yeah, it's all over social media. It's all over. I work in Ocala because that's where I live, and there was people coming into my job talking about it. And when everything had happened, this was like a day or 2 later, my boss had to pull me to the back because people are talking about my son's father.
And
Yeah.
the guy he shot is dead. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. So he's not okay.
And does he have? He's got family.
He's got a fiance or a wife that he left behind, and I think 3 or 4 kids, which they're so
Oh,
beautiful.
man.
Like, it doesn't just affect like the guy that he shot and killed. Like, I know he chose to do what he did, but it also affects his kids.
Yes, it
Right.
does.
And I understand, like, everyone that I've seen, everyone on social and stuff is talking about trying to help out
Mm-hmm.
the fiance or wife and
Right.
and the kids, but in the turn, like, and that's kind of why we wanted to have you on. Is, you know what, your son is just, and his other kids are just as much of a victim. Like, so it's the trickle down effect,
Yes.
the domino effect, if you will.
And I feel like it won't affect our son as much because his daughters live out here and they go to school out here.
And how old are they?
I believe the oldest is 14. She'll be 15.
Oh, that's
and then
horrible.
the second one is, I think she's 11. She's either 10
So
or
they're
11.
old enough to know.
How are they doing?
I talk to them here and there. I FaceTime them a lot. The youngest daughter is having a harder time because like their connection was stronger. The
Well, and
oldest
she's so
is
young.
14. Like, she gets it, she doesn't get it because we're all still like in shock. Like, we don't understand why it happened or why he
And
did
nobody
it.
at this point, nothing's been said. So he's not spoken and said what
Mhm.
was said to trigger it.
Right.
And he's been asked numerous times.
I haven't asked him. I mean, I've asked him, but like when he got arrested, he called me that night and I answered, and all I could say is, Dawn, what the,
Yeah.
like, what did you do? Like, why? I'm like, what about our son?
What made you do this? Yeah.
Right. And he's like, I can't talk about it now. Like, I just wanted to call and, say I'm sorry. And he's like, you take care of our son.
Mm.
You make sure he's loved. And
And you will. But
It just affects everyone, like you said. It affects
Yeah.
everyone. I have a nephew that I love very dearly, and he's in prison right now. He gets out sometime. Probably has another year to go. And he left. He's got a 3-year-old. Actually, he's not even 3 yet, Josiah. He's not even 3 yet. And it's, Josiah's mom is a single mom taking care of him without any kind of help.
same. And it's
Yeah.
hard. Like I said, I just bought a house. So struggling like my mortgage and then like daycare and stuff like that. Like his own family hasn't even reached out to like ask like, hey, what does a baby need? And I'm a very independent person. Like I'm very headstrong. And like I talked to him last night. He called in, spoke with our son, and he was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, like, you are a very strong, like, mom. You're a very strong woman from everything that I've encountered, from leaving him 2 months pregnant to losing my mom 5 days after to having to pull the plug on my sister. to buying my own home.
You bought your
So-
own home.
I did.
And how old are you? Because you're not very old.
I'm 30. I bought
I would
it
never have guessed 30.
a year ago. Brand new.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
It's a big effing deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
4-bedroom, brand new home.
There you go.
It was just being built. Like I was walking in and they were laying the tile down still. And
Uh,
I'm like, my kids need their own space. Like I have a daughter as well. And like state of Florida, they need their own room at a certain age. And
And what
so
do you
I'm
do
like,
for a living?
I work at a bank.
Which one? Oh, can you? Let's not say.
yeah.
Let's not say.
Don't bring banks into this.
Yes. So,
Do you know a woman named Marsha Ryman?
mm-mm.
Okay, she works at a bank too. Bankers, they work hard.
Yeah. It was crazy today, for sure.
Well, I could tell when I first met you that you were strong. You had a presence, around you. I could tell.
Thank you.
And what you're going through is major.
Yes.
I'm just going to say this. The family that's not asking you if you need help with this, you're going to have to find a place to put that because it's going to probably not get much better.
Mm-hmm.
And just stay focused on who you are and what kind of mother you are.
Yep.
Because in the end of the day, it's going to be you that you can count on.
Yep.
And I know that from experience. So stay true to yourself. And if they want to help you, fine, but you're going to have to find a place for that.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it because, like, nobody knows. Like, they know that Dwan's got a son and stuff like that, but they don't know who the mother is. Like, they don't. And I'm friends with the mother of the girls, and she would always joke, and we would always joke, and she's like, he did a pretty good job keeping you a secret. And
So
I'm
Dwan
like,
has how many kids?
He's got 3.
And then the other, so he's yours. And then
The 2 girls.
And
they
have
don't
one
know.
mom.
Okay. But you know who the mom is.
Yeah. We're friends.
Is she
Yeah.
okay?
She's okay. She's a lot stronger than I am because she's dealt with him longer, and their kids are older. So I keep fighting the battle of his daughters have had a chance to grow up with their dad. I'm very big on fathers being apart because I didn't have my dad growing up. I have my stepdad, which is not the same, but I'm blessed to have him. And our son not having his dad is taking a very big toll on me because he's
I'm
only
sure.
2. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's kind of like eye opening, like because we get it. You feel sorry for the person that passed, and I mean, of course, and yes, skinny, whatever you want to call him, he made a horrible choice that day.
Yep.
And like you said,
Life-changing
he could have got in the truck or vehicle, whatever it is, and left, and he didn't. He's headstrong, and that goes back with why you left, is because it's his way or no way, and that's it. But his kids, his daughters or his son, should not have to pay the price for the rest of their lives.
It happens all the time, though. And
and that's exactly why I was like, would you want to come on and talk? Because it shouldn't happen like that. I mean, why are people like putting the judgment on that side? I get it, that person, but not that whole side.
Yep.
Did any onlookers at the, actually they were at the spy place. Did anybody see it happen?
At first, it was all like Facebook Live, and the cops shut it down.
After the shooting. So
no, like during.
So it's actually.
They have videos. The police officers or detectives let the victim's family see like the evidence.
That kind of makes sense. He was on, he knew that. He knew that, and how can he back down now?
Right.
All this pressure on social media and the way the world is now,
his pride got the best of him.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. That's probably what it was. It was his pride. He probably is so upset with himself. Good people do bad things.
Yes.
And I totally believe in that. There's no judgment here or what happened. I would like to know, and Les too, how do you feel about the gun laws?
I don't own a gun. I'm actually in the process of buying one because where I live, like, there's a lot of like issues out there, and I'm a single mom with 2 kids, so I need protection. So as for the gun laws, I'm not really familiar with them yet because I don't have one, and I'm not really associated with people that, or I'm associated with them, but I'm not like with them 24/7 to know what they are. I know
I
you
know
don't
you
need
can't take it to a gun. I mean, to an airport.
Right.
I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
That's a whole nother show. You know what? Here's my outtake on gun laws. You need to get yourself a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it in your house up high, but you need to get yourself a gun because you need to protect yourself. And I know it's scary with having kids, but this world is awful.
Yep.
And I'm all about them. But but I remember I had when my kids were little, I had one, and there was one thing that happened that was bad, but it was at another person's house. He went to another one of his friends' house, and that kid pulled a gun on my son. But the gun wasn't loaded. The parents
Luckily.
kept the bullets somewhere else. But that was very scary to me. So it opened my eyes a lot. Yep.
When I was in school, someone that I went to school with, I wouldn't call her my friend, but my grade, and her brother went to his friend's house, and they did that. They found the dad's gun up in the top of the closet, and he got it out to show him or whatever, and shot his friend. Well, then he went out in the woods and sat there for days and then shot himself.
Eek.
And they were 7th grade.
I'm not trying. We're not trying to mother you either because I'm barely older than you.
Like my daughter, she
Right.
knows like she's not allowed to touch a gun. Like I go to friends' house and they have guns. Like I have a friend that's a cop and his gun is out. Like he walks in and he sits right there on the table. Like she knows if she sees him, she's not allowed to touch him. And then my room's off limits. Like I have like protection. Like I have a taser and stuff like that. Like you don't go in my room. You don't touch anything. So she knows not to touch them. And then she doesn't go to anybody's houses because I don't trust anybody with my children. So I don't have to worry about her going to her friend's house and finding them. And if I do, like I said, she knows not to.
Yeah.
She does not.
What else could we have besides a gun? Let's all brainstorm.
A taser.
Yep. We could do mace.
Mace.
What else?
Baseball bat.
Baseball bat. That could do some damage.
Pit bull.
Yep.
Yeah. Yours is
That's
cute.
what I got. Yeah.
Do you have a dog?
I do. She's a lab hound mix, but she's old.
Yeah.
She's not very. Yeah.
Hey, they just got to look mean.
Yeah. Her
A
bark
lab
is
hound?
vicious. Like if she
No, the
barks,
dog,
like
any dog.
her bark is very, I wouldn't enter the door. But
That dog will
have-
tear up some ankles.
Yeah. I had a blue nosed pit bull and his head was like gigantic.
yeah, their heads.
But he was the sweetest, dumbest dog you've ever met in your life. He was deaf in 3 legs, so you could outrun him. He was just adorable, though. But yeah, he looked mean, though. So if you came up to my door, you would have not have wanted to
Nor
come
would.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they have to do is hear that bark. And I've got cameras all around my house. It's like a jail.
Good.
And I've got an alarm system, and my daughter knows what to do if like something happens and I'm not there, or
Yeah.
she knows.
That's
Well, at
good.
the end of the day, is there a message you want to put out there? Or what would you like to see happen here? Because it's going to be a long road. It's just begun.
I haven't really thought about that. I just want everyone to take into consideration that he does know what he did. He is aware of it. I can't speak for him. I can't, because who knows? Maybe he's lying and brainwashing me while I'm on the phone listening to him. I don't know. But he is aware. I just want to make sure that, because there's been comments made about the other side retaliating against, like, he took someone that they love, so they want to take somebody that he loves, and everybody knows it's his kids.
So I don't know that there's gangs or anything in Inverness, but is that what this is?
I don't know. That's what I keep hearing.
To me, that whole, like, I
don't think it's gang related, because I don't think Skinny is he's just, I don't know. I think it possibly could have first started about a female, and knowing him, he was like, you know what, like, it's not even worth it. You can have her type stuff. Like, I could see him making a comment like that, or like, she's not worth it, or she's easier, they're easier, whoever this chick is. But then it escalated to somebody somewhere mentioning the kids. And that's what set him off. That's what put him on high alert. that's what, I feel like initially started it, because people were saying that he was talking about his kids.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that everybody is aware, like, the kids are innocent. The kids have nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, both fathers are gone. Whether
Yeah, one's deceased and one's in prison.
right? Like, both are gone. So the victim's kids don't have their dad, and then his kids don't have their dad.
Because everyone's hurting, everyone
Right.
on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't think the girlfriend or the fiance or the wife, I think it was his wife or his fiance. I don't think she would allow anyone to come after his kids. I'm hoping not. I pray to God. I'm hoping not.
Do you know her? I guess not, because you
I
didn't
don't know
him.
her.
Yeah.
The other mother of his kids knows them.
Okay.
I don't. I try to stay away from, like I said, he kept me a secret. But here I am speaking out.
Surprise.
I'm here.
Ta-da! So, okay, so now being a victim yourself in this situation, what would you like if you could start like there's food trains or whatever for our friend that has cancer, and there's this help for someone else, but what would you suggest that people do for the kids of the other side of this? Like, is there anything you can say offhand that
Be there for them. Like I said, I struggle with allowing him to still talk to our son, because he's at the age where he can continue to know him through the system, or I could just, because we have court paperwork in place for him and I. Like, he had him every other weekend. I have sole like decision making over our child. So like, I could just be like, when he gets older and if he wants to know you and, come and see you, then I'll let him make that decision. But until now, like, until everything is set in stone and done, I struggle with like keeping him not away, because he already is away, but keeping him like apart from it all and then just living life, or allowing
keeping him
to,
involved?
right. Be there for the kids, because kids is number one in my book, point blank, period. My daughter is a big help, because this morning I had like a breakdown and I just looked at our son and started crying. And my stepdad was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "How could he have done what he had done? Like, just look at how innocent he is. Like, he's sitting here and he's talking more and he's potty training and like all this small stuff he's missing out on. And it's hard. It is extremely hard." And my daughter is a very big help. So, siblings do help. And I'm very big on having a relationship with siblings. Like, I reach out to the other mother or the baby mama or whatever. And I'm like, "Look, I want the kids to have a relationship still. They're brothers and sisters." Like,
Right.
and she agreed. And that was one of the things that Dwan had said. He wanted the girls to still have a relationship with their brother. And I'm never the type of person, like, I'm very big on family, very, very family oriented. And I said, as long as I'm living, they'll have a relationship. Depending on like the mother and their plans and stuff like that. But that he's seen them a couple times since then. And he talks to them, like, I'll FaceTime the sisters and he'll talk to them. And then my daughter is around the same age as them. So they're all on FaceTime talking, and
I think that's
cracking.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
do
know if it
too.
means anything to you, but I like
Yep.
how you think.
Yep.
I'm all about siblings and family, and still your son having a relationship with his dad and letting your son decide, but I totally support you on that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think I would do
totally.
the same thing.
Yeah,
So.
I commend you on that
Yes.
for sure. So how is your daughter with it? I mean, because that's not her dad, but she obviously knew him because she
Yes.
was old enough when you guys were together
Yes.
to remember him.
She was 4, 5. She was 5, I believe. And at first she didn't believe me. And I left work early that day when it happened, and I came home and I like had a breakdown. Like, she had done something, and I turned and looked at her and I said, Mommy needs a break. Mommy needs you to take your brother and go outside and play. Like, you don't understand. And like I explained to her, like, he got arrested because he did something bad and he's going away for a very long time. And she's looking at me like, what? And I told her, I said, you know, he did something very bad. And Mommy's going to need your help. Mommy needs you to take your brother outside and go play. And then my stepdad came home, and you could tell, because at the end of the day, that's my son's dad. I have love for him. I will always have love for him, because if it wasn't for that man, we wouldn't have our child. You know, minus our differences, minus our history. I will always have love for him because he gave me the greatest gift on this planet, and that's my kid. So she's handling it. She knows, like, I'm very stressed. I have to get a second job to afford the bills, and that's less time for them. And it's hard. She gets it. She's a very big help. She has her chores. She manages. She helps with her brother the best that she can. If I'm cooking dinner, she'll help with the bath. She'll help feed him or help clean up. She talks to the girls, his other two daughters, and try to keep, like, their mind off of it also. But she, for the most part, is okay. She doesn't quite understand because I haven't told her, like, what he did. But
And his other kids live here.
yes,
Do you plan on going to the trial?
September I will be there. The one that happened, I think the 4th, couldn't go, but I have to hear for myself. Like, the way my brain is wired, I have to hear what's going on, and I have to hear the judge, and I have to hear the attorneys, and I want to see him myself. Like, I want to lay eyes on him.
You want to hear all of
Right.
it, not just.
I don't want to read it on the clerk's website. I don't want to hear a post about it. I don't want to, stuff like that.
What do you think is his best day in court through this? There's a video of everything. It shows that he gunned the guy down in cold blood. Doesn't matter about any arguing or anything like that. The other guy didn't hold a gun on him.
Mm-mm.
What do you think his best day in court will be?
That's a hard one. I hope what he's saying to his attorney or the public defender or whoever the lady is that's on the thing, like, I hope, like, he's going to do time. He's not going to walk away. It's just a matter of
How much
time, because from everything that I've seen, like, at Google, I've searched like 25 to life for what he did.
I have a good defense attorney. I will give you his name after this show. I could say it.
Yeah.
George Colon out of Ocala. He's helped me through a lot.
That's what my attorney is in Ocala.
Yeah.
And he's always, like, he's told me, like, hey, if there's any way of, like, him getting out, like, he needs to let me know. If, like, there's any threats with, like, the kids or myself, like, I need to let him know, and we have to file, whatever. Like, when it first happened, I called him and I said, hey, what are my rights? Because we have our parenting plan and everything. And he's like, well, he's in jail. Like, it's not dismissed, but whatever the legal
he's
term.
like, yeah.
Have you told him your fears about
them coming after you?
Yeah. He said, if anything is said or done, or, somebody does message you or anything like that, you call me, and we'll file whatever paperwork. We'll get the law involved. The cops, I will say, are very on top of anybody making threats, anybody saying anything out of the woodworks about anything. They delete it. They've made a couple of arrests, I believe, against people saying stuff or whatever. But they're very on top of it. I will give them that.
I can say that it's a good thing, like, you don't live right here.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you kind of separate.
Yes.
And your son's so young that he's going to, by the time that he grows up, it'll already have been in.
Yep.
Like, already happened in 3 years of being used to this, opposed to now dad's gone and now what kind of thing.
Yep.
So it might be easier on your son that way, but
that's what
those other girls are just gonna have a hard road.
Yes.
Not to change the subject, but my middle name is Dwan.
Really?
Jessica Dwan.
My name's Leslie Dion.
Jessica Dewan and Leslie Dion.
Oh, that's a good middle
We
name.
sound
I
like a flippin' singing duo.
Except I can't sing.
I think you can. I heard you singing
Very poorly.
in the bathroom right before Shelby got here.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
We would like to pay our respects also to the deceased and the family.
Yes, of
for
course.
sure.
I was thinking too, like, to reach out and be like, and then I was like, I don't really know if I want people to really know who I am. But it's like I said, it's not me that did it. It's not my son that did it. It's just the person that did it. But I keep hearing, like, from my attorney, he's like, this could take years. Like, he keeps telling me, he's like, the pretrial, I've seen it in several cases where it gets pushed back a year, 2 years, 3 years, just for the pretrial.
During COVID, my nephew's trial got pushed back the whole time from 2020 to 2022, and he finally got, convicted. But it could, but maybe, hopefully, he'll get credit for time served.
Yeah.
And more than likely, he will. So, well, I would hope the best for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just focused on working and getting another job and being there for my kids. And it's, like I said, it's mostly affecting. I'm just like wishy-washy. I'm like back and forth between, and like our mutual friend, when she found out, she was one of the persons that texted me, and she's like, is this for real? And the day that it happened, the daycare was having issues with their phone, so I couldn't get a hold of them. So here I am at work, like hyperventilating. My boss, I went in her office and she's like, you were literally like freaking out. Like you turned white and like you were like, you couldn't like catch your breath. And my main concern was, like I said, like he would always go to the barbershop if he forgot something or, forgot our son's socks or his shoes or whatever. So I'm thinking, well, I can't get a hold of daycare. I can't get a hold, the app wasn't working. And I'm like, where is my son? Where is my son?
Mm-hmm.
Like, DCF would have been late calling me, like, it's not going to be an instant thing.
Yeah, because
Has DCF gotten involved?
Yes. DCF has been to my house, which is weird because DCF didn't go to the daughter's house. I had DCF come to my house, and they were asking questions about a case that happened between Dawn and I years ago. Like, I left him 2 months pregnant, which is, our son will be 3 in October, so do the math, like almost 4 years of an incident that happened with us that had a weapon involved. And they were asking me questions, and I'm like, why are you guys digging on something that's been shut already? Like, I left him 2 months pregnant. I was at the shelter. They were, excuse me. Sorry. They were supposed to close it, but they called me Monday or Thursday of last week and said that they need me to sign a release of all of my stuff that I had at the shelter. I'm like, why do you guys need a release of everything when the incident of that case was already closed? So I feel like they're digging, which,
just getting a pattern.
yeah. So if they dig everything that I told the shelter, because I was in a domestic situation, may affect some stuff. But
So is he just, like, if he's got records on that, is that the only 2 times he's ever had a violence?
I know he's had issues with one of his exes, the girl that actually reached out to me. He's had like some stuff happen between them two. I never called the cops on him. The cop that came to the house on one of the incidents knew him. He made it very clear, this is my town. I own it. Like, slap on the wrist. The cop came, dabbed him up, gave me a flyer, said if I'm in fear for my life, this is where I go, and walked off. I'm like, okay, this is how Citrus County runs stuff. Got it. Good to know. So,
Marion's not much better.
yeah, no. Mm-mm.
My salon's in Marion County. We have a crack house that's right next door to my salon. Always riffraff. Always. There was a murder there last year.
There's a murder there every year.
But the crack woman got kicked out. So
She's at the house next door, isn't she?
no, that's now an Airbnb. So now the crack woman, which is, she's very well known.
Gloria.
Can we call him in? Does he know you're here?
No.
Okay. Damn it, that would be good.
He called me on the way here and then hung up. And I was going to tell him that I was going to go on a podcast. And
Is he
but
okay with that?
I
Does
didn't tell him.
He can just call anytime he wants.
He's calling
doesn't
right
get
now.
like one call a day.
As long as people put money on his books. I put like $20 on his books for like phone calls. And then I've sent him money for food because, like I said, that's my
Right.
son's dad. I want him to eat.
Well, yeah.
I want my son to grow
You
up
got a beautiful heart. You do. I can tell.
and look at me and say, either it can go two ways. One, Mom, why did you do that for my dad after he did what he did? Or he could be thanking Mommy for doing everything you could for, Dad, even after everything that has happened between you two, and, let bygones be bygones and stuff like that.
What was your relationship before the shooting? Like, I get you guys weren't together, but like, were you guys civil? Like, would you go out to dinner to switch, like to take the custody, like the weekend? Or was it more passing, like here, it's your weekend, like have fun?
So the only time that we really did any passing was he would pick him up Tuesday from the daycare and drop him off Wednesday morning at the daycare. So we didn't have to see one another. And then Saturday I would drop him off, and then he would drop him off at the daycare on Monday. Our co-parenting was perfect when he was single. He got into a relationship and he turned into an ass. Very controlling. He tried barking orders, telling me I can't do this.
Why do you think that?
Trying to make a point to the female he's with that, whatever, the female might have felt insecure, or he just wanted to show that he was like the big dog, pretty much. He's always been like that. If it's not his way, it's no way. Very narcissistic, very
I think
controlling.
his worst enemy.
Yeah.
I hope if he's listening, he doesn't hate me if he listens to this show.
Well, he's not listening right now. That's not on the books. but when he gets out.
Like towards the end, like I would try to call and speak to our son, like FaceTime, like say goodnight. Sometimes he would let me. The last couple weeks, the last like month or two, he was fine. Like we did pretty good. Like Easter and birthdays, I would be like, hey, if you and the girls want to come over, or hey, you and your girlfriend and the kids want to come over, your mother welcome to come over and celebrate. So he sees that we can get along, he wasn't having it. The very beginning, it was very rocky. It was F you, F this, I'm a horrible mom, I ain't shit, no man's gonna want me, no man's gonna whatever, like you ain't having my son around your men, you ain't having my son. And I'm like, you got half of Citrus County up in your bed around my son. Like,
Don't let him get in your head. Yeah.
no. I'm like, okay. But it took me almost 4 years to start dating. I left him 2 months pregnant. I wasn't dating anybody with another man's baby in my belly. And then I lost my mom, so I wasn't in the right mindset. And then busy working, taking care of a newborn and my daughter. And then losing my sister, buying a house. Like, I just haven't had time. And nobody's worth my time until you can prove to me that you're worth my time, because now I have a son. And the next man that is in his life will be a perfect gentleman, because he's going to look up to you.
Yeah, you're going to be his role figure.
Yep. So, but
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
appreciate it.
It's
Thanks
very
for
brave
having
of
me.
you. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
And the points you wanted to make.
This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
But I mean, like, I do commend you, and you've got a long road, but you got this.
Yeah.
You've been through such horrible things, and look at you excelling through it all. You
That's
know,
what my boss said today. She's like, this is God giving you a sign. She's like, I know you've always wanted him to be a part of our son's life, and stuff like that and everything. And she's like, but this is God showing you, and you'll thank him later. Like, it may not be now. You may be confused now. You may be stuck in like this, back and forth thing with my own brain. But later on down the road, you're going to look back and be like, okay, so this is why God did it. This is why, it was a good thing that I decided to keep our son away or apart from it or whatever. Because like just the type of person that he is, I don't need two of him running around.
You have a great attitude. I love the way you think.
I try.
very positive.
I tried.
Very, very. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you had fun.
I did. I like it. I like this music.
It's DJ Trashy.
That's right. Out of Louisiana.
This is that feel good music. Keeps your body moving at the speed of sound. From dusk until dawn, the party's going on all around town.